Hi everybody, Miss Andrea here. Happy Wednesday. It's also Earth Day. A day to show how much we care and we love the earth, right? And how we can take care of the earth. So, very special day today for Mother Earth, right? She gives us so much, so it's important that we also give back, right? So, we're going to be talking a little bit about that today in the read aloud I have. Hope you all had a good day. It was beautiful outside. And you might notice the lighting behind me is a little different today. We're actually taking part in an Earth Day activity, which is conserving electricity, right? Saving electricity, turning the lights off, you know, when you don't need them or when you're not in the room. Just so happened that today the lights are not working. One of our bulbs blew, so we're practicing conserving energy with the lights off, okay? But that's one way we can help save the earth is by, of course, conserving the lights. You know, if you leave the room, of course, turn your lights off. Or if you don't need them, you know, try not to keep them on then because it's a waste, okay? We're going to be talking about more ways we can conserve and help the earth in this story. And the story is called Not For Me, Please, I Choose to Act Green. And you might be saying, act green? How can you act like a color, right? That doesn't make any sense. But acting green is a phrase that we use for helping the earth, doing things to keep the earth clean and healthy and nice for everybody, okay? We call it acting green. Green like the grass we find on the earth, okay? And that's why he's hugging the earth also. We love the earth so much, right? Okay, here we go. There was once a day when I didn't act green, a time when I thought things would always stay clean. I didn't think twice of the choices I made, the impact they had, or the damage that stayed. My actions were based on the ease brought to me, with never much thought to our air, land, or sea. Okay, so everything we do throughout the day can have a big impact on our earth, right? If we are eating food, right, we don't want to throw our garbage on the floor, right? We want to make sure we throw it in a garbage pail. Again, turning the lights on and off. Water, right? The same thing. If you go to wash your hands or you're taking a shower, you don't want to leave the water running for a long period of time because it can affect other things in the earth, okay? All right. Let's see. But my thoughts around this changed in a flash when I noticed the damage caused by our trash. Oh no, look at this mess, right? The sight of it caused a reaction in me, and all I could say was, not for me, please. Oh boy. So what do we see here, my friends? Lots of yucky garbage. And you know, it's funny, it's interesting, right? Some of these look like plastic gloves. I don't know if you guys have been noticing, if you go shopping or if you go shopping with mommy and daddy, we're all wearing the gloves right now, right? Because of the virus as well as the masks. Have you guys been noticing? There's a lot of gloves left on the floor, and that's not nice, right? If you're finished using your gloves or your mask, you either clean it so you could reuse it again, right? Reusing is very important in helping the earth, or you throw it in a garbage can, right? So this is not good because look what happens. The wind blows all the garbage that was on the floor, and where did it end up? On the trees, right? And then the trees are homes for many animals, right? Squirrels and birds and owls. And look what happens when all that garbage is on the trees or on the floor. It makes it very difficult for the animals, right? And look, this poor squirrel is stepping in gum, right? Sometimes we see food wrappers on the floor or empty soda cans, or if you go to McDonald's, like the containers that the soda comes in. It's important to throw those things in the trash because it makes a mess, and then it makes the earth look so yucky, right? And nobody wants to really play outside if you see a lot of garbage on the floor. Okay, so down here it's interesting. They give some facts. okay, where there's this big I, and it says over 260 million tons of waste are generated every year in the United States. That's a lot. That's a lot of garbage. Globally, over 220 million tons of plastic are produced each year. All of this waste adds up and pollutes our environment, even if we don't see it all the time. Pollution, right, in the air that we breathe, right, needs to be clean, fresh air, but there's also a lot of pollution, a lot of dirty air caused by cars, right? It's not good. Not good at all. Okay. All right. And this is just saying basically that there's a lot of plastic being thrown out. And we want to make sure, I'm sure the book's going to talk about it later. Like if we finish drinking water out of like a plastic bottle or even soda for that matter, we can recycle it, right? When we recycle these bottles, they are made into something else. So instead of throwing it out, we can reuse and recycle what we have already, which is very important. But this is just such a sad picture to me, right? Very, very sad. Okay. I could not continue to live as I did. Surely I could help out because I'm a strong kid. From there, I decided that I will take action, and protecting our planet became my new passion. You too can help out with this phrase that I found. Just say, "Not for me, please," and stand your own ground. It may take some practice, but I'll show you how and why it's important for us to act now. Okay, so if you see your friends throwing garbage on the floor or somebody else, you could say, "Not for me," right? You're not going to do that, right? You're going to do the right thing because like the boy is doing here, we love our earth so much and we want to keep it nice and clean, okay? Okay, let's see how. Let's look at a straw that comes with a shake. Now imagine the trip this straw will soon take. Most often, our straws are made out of plastic, and after one use, they're thrown in a basket. Hopefully, we throw it in the garbage can, right? From the basket, they head to the dump or the sea and become something known as marine debris. Okay, now it's a plastic straw. Anything made out of plastic, like I said, the straws, plastic bottles, can be recycled and made into something else. So what this is saying is when you throw the straws in the garbage goes into like the garbage dump and then it leads out, unfortunately, into our oceans. And it causes a lot of pollution and a lot of garbage in our oceans. So it makes it hard for the animals in the ocean to live, right? Our fish, our sharks, octopuses, all those other animals, right? Okay, so down here it says, each day more than 500 million plastic straws are used and discarded in the United States alone. That's a lot of straws, right? Just for one country. This all creates waste that ends up in landfills. Landfills are the garbage dumps, and our oceans, just because we want to have a straw. That's incredible. That's so crazy. Marine debris is human-created waste that has deliberately or accidentally been released into the lake, sea, ocean, or water. In 2006, the United Nations estimated that there are 46,000 pieces of floating plastic in every square mile of ocean. And you know the ocean is very, very big, right, guys? So that's a lot of garbage. Can you imagine? And all those poor sea animals are trying to live in the ocean and they have to deal with all this garbage, right? That's not good. That's not good at all. Our oceans are filled with all sorts of stuff that hurt our sea creatures and make their lives rough. Poor turtles and fish mistake trash for their meal. Imagine the pain that their tummies must feel, right? So they don't know the difference. So they're eating this garbage, not realizing it's garbage, right? And it actually can really hurt them. And some animals actually die from eating the garbage. It's not good. Or worse, they get tangled up in our careless muck, our garbage. Around fins, heads, and legs, they're nothing but stuck. Oh my gosh. So see, what animal is this? We have a crab, right, with the straw. And who do we have here that we see at the beach? A seagull, right? And what's on his little foot? It looks like the plastic, like sometimes if mommy buys like soda cans from the store, right? They're connected by this plastic ring. And that's so dangerous, right? If people just throw it into the garbage and they don't recycle it, or they throw it into the water, the poor birds can get it stuck like on their foot or around their neck, and they could get very, very seriously hurt, right? It's not good. And here we have like plastic bottles, right? Plastic bags. So all this garbage, because we're not disposing of it in the correct way. A lot of these things we can recycle, and a lot of these things people actually throw into the ocean, and that's not good because you're really hurting a lot of the ocean life. Okay, it says, did you know about 1 truckload of trash is thrown into our waters every minute? Think about a truck, guys. It's really big, right? So that's a lot of garbage. The truck is captured by ocean currents and collects within oceans. Some oceans have become so full of trash that they have been nicknamed garbage patches. That's crazy. Okay, the trash thrown in our ocean doesn't just float on the surface. Aquatic life and seabirds mistake these little fragments of plastic for food and ingest them. That's so sad, right, guys? It's awful. Okay. This one little straw is not worth the high cost. Why use things that harm or cause a great loss? Here's what I'd say. Not for me, please. When asked, I don't need a straw that will simply be trashed. We all have a choice. Let's do our small part to refuse to cause harm and decide to act smart. Okay, so I know a lot of places now, they don't actually give out the plastic straws. They have different alternatives because they know that the plastic straws are very dangerous to animals, especially the sea animals too, right? So if you don't need a straw, don't ask for one, right? Because you're helping the environment by not taking it. Okay, it says, unfortunately, our sea life and birds are not the only ones ingesting plastic or eating the plastic. When we eat fish that has eaten plastic, this too goes into our bodies. Additionally, plastic has frequently been found in many brands of bottled water. Wow, guys. So the pollution can actually affect us negatively as well, right? That's crazy. Did you know that 93% of Americans age 6 or older, so you guys age, test positive for BPA, a plastic chemical? Wow, that's crazy. Very, very crazy. So it's very important, right, that we take care of the earth because it could negatively hurt us as well. Just think through your actions and the cause and effect of waste and pollution and careless neglect. Neglect means when you don't care. Let's choose to recycle, reduce, and reuse. And with my strong phrase, there's no way we lose. Here are some examples to show what I mean and how you can join me and begin to act green, take care of the earth, right? So the 3 R's, we call them: recycle, reduce, and reuse. Okay, so recycle and reuse are kind of like the same thing, to use over again. And reduce means to use less. So we talked about the lights, water also, right? And maybe even driving the car, because car causes pollution. So maybe walking more instead of using the car. But we're going to talk about more of these 3 R's in the story now. Reduce, reuse, and recycle are the main ways to practice environmentally responsible consumer behavior, which is just a fancy way of saying our 3 good ways to take care of our earth. When we aim to reduce the amount of waste we produce, the consumption of new resources, reuse as many items as possible before replacing them, and recycle, we take action to protect our environment and act green. So you might have seen this symbol also with the arrows, especially on some of the garbage cans you might have, because we have special garbage cans, right, just to recycle plastics, paper, okay, metals. Do you see all this trash scattered around? Why would anyone throw their stuff on the ground? Not for me, please, is what I choose to say, and pick up the litter to throw it away. Right? So you might have seen there's these colored garbage cans when you're walking around your neighborhood for plastics only, like soda bottles, paper, newspapers, books, things like that. Regular trash, right? Like candy wrappers and things like that, and then cans, soda cans, anything else that might come in a can as well, okay? I choose to be mindful and sort through my trash, recycling things like plastic or glass. These can be turned into something brand new, like clothing, park benches, or even a shoe. So you might think it's really silly, right? Like, what? A water bottle can be made into a shoe? Yes. They use all these materials, cans, plastic, papers, and trash. Not the trash, I'm sorry, paper, plastic, cans, and glass, and they recycle it to make these new things. So isn't that really, really exciting and cool? Okay, recycling is the process of converting waste into new, usable material and objects. When we recycle, we reduce the need to consume Earth's natural resources. Recycling helps ensure sustainability use of our limited resources. There are many things that can be recycled: metal, plastic, glass, aluminum, and paper. It's important to be conscious that the items we buy are materials that can be recycled and not just end up in a landfill, which is where all of our normal trash will go. Stuff that cannot be recycled at all, okay? It says contact your local recycling center to find out what can be recycled in your area, because that's a really amazing thing, right? So we're using less, we are able to reuse what we have, and it's good for our environment, right? It's not clogging up our oceans or making our parks look dirty, right? It's very, very good. Look at the lights that somebody left on in the room that is empty with everybody gone. The same for computers, games, and TVs. Why keep these things on for no one to see? Not for me, please. I use what I need and power things off whenever I leave. I know that it's easy for one to forget, but do it enough and a habit you'll set. So sometimes I know we're leaving the computer on, especially, right? I've done that a lot of times. You're like, oh, I'll turn it off later, and then you completely forget about it, and that's not good. It's very bad for the environment. The same thing again with the lights, water, the TV. If you're playing video games, just make sure you turn it off, and give it a moment to breathe, because it's no good for the environment, and we're wasting electricity, okay? It says, when you consume less power and energy, you decrease the demand and therefore emissions from power plants, so less pollution. To generate electricity, most power plants burn coal, oil, or other fossil fuels. It's very inexpensive to do this, but causes significant air pollution and contributes to climate change. If we all turn off 2 lights in our home for an hour every day, we could save more than 5 million hours of electricity. That's a lot. The amount of coal it takes to produce that much electricity could fill up the Empire State Building almost 3 times. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Empire State Building. I live here in New York. Maybe the majority of you do, but maybe we have people joining us on the YouTube channel that are not from New York State. Empire State Building is very big, so you can imagine how much electricity that is. Okay? Do you see this faucet and the water that flows? How much has been wasted? It's so hard to know. Just running the water when it's not in use is careless and wasteful. There's just no excuse. So like, for example, if you go into the bathroom, you say, you know what, I'm going to brush my teeth. And you turn the water on, and then you're like, you know what though? I forgot to brush my hair first. And you run back into your bedroom and you start brushing your hair, and you've left the water running. That's so not good, okay? It's wasteful. Not for me, please. I avoid wasteful drips while brushing or cleaning my small fingertips. We're lucky to have clean water to drink, not the kind that is harmful, dirty, or stinks, right? Our water is very, very clean. We're very, very lucky, okay? Because not so many places have good, clean drinking water. Okay, according to water.org, from what this says here, less than 1% of the water on the earth is readily available for human use. Wow. Salt can be removed from the seawater, but it's a very expensive process. So water conservation is a very good way to make the most of the fresh water that we do have. So because what it's saying is the amount of fresh water we have is so small, it's so limited, that what we do have, we have to try to conserve and save, right? Because we don't want to have to run out of water, because the other water is not drinkable. It's mostly salt water, which if you go to the ocean, that water is salt water, right? We cannot drink that. All right. Did you know a 5-minute shower uses more water than a person in a developing country uses in a day? Wow. So developing country is a poorer country. So if we take a quick 5-minute shower here, a 10-minute shower in another country that doesn't have so much money, that's more than they use in an entire day. Isn't that crazy? Sadly, 1 in 9 people worldwide do not have access to safe and clean drinking water. The lack of clean water kills children, wow, at a very fast rate. That's very sad to hear, guys. So we should be very blessed, right, that we are able to have access to this clean water, and we should try to conserve it as much as possible because other children are not as lucky. Do you bring food to a school that's packed at your home? After you lunch, how much trash has been thrown? From plastic baggies to small boxes of juice, it's scary the trash just one meal can produce. Not for me, please. I watch what I bring, use food containers, and avoid plastic things. I bring my own bottle, I wash and reuse. No need to contribute to plastic abuse. Oh boy, so look at all this garbage. Right? I know, at Metro Kids Preschool, the school where I work at, the lunch is provided from our kitchen. So we're not really producing a ton of waste because we actually serve the lunch in like reusable bowls that, of course are washed every day. But I know like in public schools for when you guys move on to kindergarten, it's a lot of garbage that we are producing. The plastic milk container, the cartons, the trays that the food is served on, your plastic forks and knives and your napkins. It's a lot of garbage, especially if you're bringing lunch from home. So you're going to be seeing a lot of this, right? And we have to make sure that we are either recycling it, right? Or we're throwing it in the garbage and we're not leaving it all over the cafeteria to make it look really messy. But one of the good things that you can do is what he is doing here, right? What did he do? He brought his own water bottle that he can drink water from every day and wash it. Just like in our preschool where the kids do water breaks every day, right? You guys bring in your own water bottles from home that we can reuse and wash every day. So that's actually a great way that you guys are choosing to reuse. You're helping the earth that way, okay? All right, so we have more facts down here. I'm not going to read it to you guys. It's a lot to soak in. So if you want to take a couple of minutes, you can read it quick. Okay? But it's basically talking about how much garbage is produced when we eat lunch in the school cafeteria. Okay? All right. Even while shopping, I see so much waste. Plastic grocery bags found all over the place. And why are there so many things plastic wrapped? Most of this plastic will only be scrapped, thrown in the garbage, right? Have you guys noticed that when you go to the grocery store with mommy and daddy? There's so many fruits and vegetables in plastic containers, right? It's crazy. And then what does mommy do when she goes home? She'll unwrap the plastic and she'll put it in the garbage, right? It's a waste. Not for me, please. I've had enough. I use my cloth bags when I pack up my stuff. I also take care of what goes in my cart, choosing less packaging, and plastic is smart. So what a lot of our stores are doing now, and they're actually making it a law, is that when you go grocery shopping and you pay for your groceries, instead of the store having those plastic bags, they're asking you to bring in your own bag from home, usually a cloth bag, because it's safer for the environment. It's better for the environment, right? Okay, it says every year Americans throw away over 140 billion food and drink containers and bottles. That's a lot. Okay, plastic bags are used on average for 12 minutes. If you think about it, because you're just putting the food in it, bringing it home, taking the food out, and throwing it in the garbage. You're not using it for anything else. But then what's happening is that it's causing a lot more garbage in the oceans and everywhere else. It's not good once it gets to the dumps, the garbage dumps. Have you been on a picnic when the sky was bright blue? Do you remember the cups, plates, and forks that you used? They were probably plastic and used only once, but decomposing takes years. not just a few months. Have you ever gone on a picnic in the park, right? Think about all the stuff that you're bringing, right? The plates to eat on, the cups to drink out of, the utensils. Not for me, please. I'll join the ban against single-use plastic because I'm not a fan. All that I need can come from my home. Let's avoid let's avoid needless buys and reuse what we own. Okay, so it looks like they're bringing, if you're going on a picnic, maybe try to bring plastic cups that you can actually use and then wash when you go home, and the same thing with the plates as well as the utensils, right? Trying to reuse them again instead of just bringing them, using them once and then throwing them out. It's such a waste, right? Okay, sorry, it skipped back. Okay, and just an interesting fact, 50% of plastic we use only once and throw it away. That's a lot. That's a huge amount, okay? And then once we throw it out, it takes a really long time for it to completely disintegrate and disappear. Like it said here, a plastic bottle, when it gets thrown in the garbage, instead of recycling it, it actually takes it 450 years to finally, disintegrate into nothing. So during that time, imagine how it's hurting the environment, right? Okay. Our world is connected with resources shared. We all must pitch in and give nature our care. Let's pass on these things that don't make much sense or benefit us at our planet's expense. The options are endless if you make the right choice. Think the 3 R's and use your strong voice. Make good choices to help our earth, right? Reduce, use less, right? Reuse over again, and recycle. Make sure you're recycling so it can be made into something new for somebody else. Very important to keep our beautiful earth as well as our oceans clean. So how will you choose next time when you're out? Will you think differently and take a new route? You are free to borrow my little phrase and say, "Not for me, please," in all of your days. Not for me, please. It's very important to remember that, okay? Okay. And that, excuse me, that is the end of the story. So here it says reflection. So it's a couple of questions and things, which this read aloud was a little bit longer tonight, so I apologize, and there was a lot of information, so I'm not really going to be going through these questions with you guys. If you want to write them down and maybe address them, with your children at a later point in time, that's absolutely fine. I think it's a really important concept for the children to understand, basically how we can, help the earth. So in this story, we learned about a whole bunch of ways, and we also got a lot of good information and facts, which I think is important. Basically, I think it's important as children how you can take part in helping make the earth a more beautiful and pollution-free place. And very simply, by just not throwing your garbage on the floor. I know it's so easy to do, right? You're walking around outside, you're eating a candy bar. Oh, there's no garbage can. I'm just going to throw it on the floor. That's not good, because it's going to make the earth look dirty and yucky. And then, God forbid, another bird or squirrel or another animal tries to pick it up thinking it's food, right? They could choke on it or they can get hurt. So just making sure that we're making an effort to keep our earth clean. Again, conserving, right? Reducing. Turn off the lights, turn off the water when you're not using it, your video games, your computer, anything that you don't need to be using at that moment, make sure you turn it off. And then, of course, recycling. So if you finish your water bottle, don't put it in the garbage. It can be, reused for something else. And I just want to bring up, another kind of extension of how you can kind of incorporate recycling into your daily lives. Those of you that have been going to Metro Kids for the past several years will know that every year around this time for this entire week, we do our recycled robot contest. And unfortunately, this year we could not do it because obviously the school has been closed for quite some time. But as you guys know, in order to make that recycled robot for each of your classrooms, what do we ask you guys to do? We ask you to bring in plastic bottles, cans, tissue boxes, cereal boxes, buttons, anything in your home that you have used that we can recycle. And we teach you guys to reuse it again to make an incredible looking robot, right? And we have that contest. And it's something I look forward to every year because you guys usually end up doing such an amazing job. So what I'd like to do is extend that to you guys now, okay? And not just the preschool kids, to whoever is watching. Think about the materials you have around your home that, maybe you're finishing using. How can you recycle them? And what kind of robot can you create from those materials? And I would love you guys to send me your pictures of your finished robots, because maybe I can actually display them in a future Read Aloud. So have fun creating those robots. It should be a great, activity anyway, a family activity during this time since you guys can't really go outside anyway. And it's a great way to show your children how you can recycle items found in your home. So you could submit those pictures if you finish those robots to asamp02@gmail.com, and I'd be really excited to see those finished products, okay? And just, in the meantime, make sure that you are practicing those good habits, okay? And in closing, I do have a little song to help you guys remember the 3 R's for Earth Day, okay? And it goes like this. Let me just see here. Okay. Reduce, reuse, recycle. These are the words we know. We have to save our planet so you can live and grow. We might be only children. We have to try, you'll see. We will save our planet. It starts with you and me. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. Reduce, reuse, recycle. These are the words we know. We have to save our planet so we can live and grow. We might be only children. We have to try, you'll see. We have to save our planet. It starts with you and me. So happy Earth Day again. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Remember, 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 and remember our phrase, not for me, please. Right? Practicing good habits to save our beautiful, lovely Earth. Okay? Happy Earth Day again. I hope you are all doing well and you're happy and you are safe. And of course, as always, stay blessed. We live in a beautiful, beautiful planet. Let's do our part to keep it clean. Okay? Love you guys lots. See you tomorrow. Good night. Bye-bye.